Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Peter Guzman joins us. He's the president of the Las Vegas Latin Chamber of Commerce, Nevada, here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers. Big R in Sparks is located on Bering Boulevard next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. It's a 50,000 square foot hardware store and a whole lot more. It's your spring headquarters with lawn and garden supplies, power equipment, and outdoor living. Big R on Bering Boulevard in Sparks next to Smith's and across from Reed High School. Big R, hardware, and a whole lot more.
Carson Valley Inn, it's your place for the good times. Carson Valley Inn.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
The Nevada Builders Alliance has been protecting the interests of the construction industry for over 50 years. Our programs save members thousands of dollars every year and allow them to provide much-needed benefits to their employees. Our industry also allows Nevada to grow. If you're thinking about a career in the construction industry, reach out. And if you haven't thought of a career in construction, what are you waiting for? We are the Nevada Builders Alliance.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always delighted to welcome back to the program Peter Guzman. He is the president of the Las Vegas Latin Chamber of Commerce. Pleasure to have you back here, sir.
Sam, thanks for always having me, and it's Latin Chamber of Commerce, Nevada now.
Oh, that's right. I left off the Nevada. Yes, you are statewide. We are taping this on the morning of the 14th of June. And the reason I mention that is I'm not sure exactly what day we're going to play this show, but last night, the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup. For those that weren't here, can you describe the scene all over the city?
Well, I got to tell you, it was amazing. To think about, first of all, shout out to Bill Foley, a man who took a risk. And I say that and I emphasize that because I read social media and I obviously I pay attention, and there's a movement to hate on the rich, to hate on the entrepreneurs. This man took a risk and brought ice hockey to Las Vegas, a desert. Was told, I know for a fact, that it won't work. And we went to the finals twice in 6 years, and now we own the Stanley Cup. And I got to tell you, I was there to witness it. Just will forever cherish that moment of when that bell went off and we were the winners of the Stanley Cup in Las Vegas. And then when you went outside, the streets, the out front of the stadium was packed. And you know what? It reminded me of something that I said when I testified for Allegiant Stadium, and I said there's going to come a time where this is going to bring a community together. That's what sports does. It brings a community together. I witnessed it last night.
Yes.
Everybody was hugging. Nobody was asking where you're from, nothing. What you look like didn't matter. Everybody was hugging each other. Everybody was united in this win of the Stanley Cup. What an amazing feat for us.
Well, what's so stunning, I think that the first real, and there may be arguments from other people, but for me, the first really huge community event in Las Vegas was the Smith Center, because it wasn't on the Strip. It had Broadway shows. It had all kinds of entertainment that locals were going to buy tickets for, that locals were going to show up for. And it amazed me to see how much social chatter there was about the Smith Center. Then October 1 happened. At the same time, the Golden Knights happened.
Yep.
And they rescued a city.
There's no question about it. And that came up yesterday. Foley's a man of few words. I've had the pleasure of speaking to him often. You know, he is a man of few words. And yesterday, you know, they brought that up, how he saved a community, and he got a little emotional about that. And that's what sports can do. That's why I'm all for, you know, bringing as much professional sports and entertainment as we can, because it's critical to our community. And last night, you know, there were some out-of-towners. That's amazing, too, that we actually have Vegas Golden Knight fans that live in neighboring states. They came down to watch this.
And Reno. I mean, all
and I
over.
heard some of them say, this is unbelievable. Like, we walked to T-Mobile from our hotel room. That is different than a lot of communities, my friend, and that's a game changer. You literally can stay here and walk to any one of these stadiums and enjoy this. So this is amazing. This is something that is for the history books.
To say the least, and thank you for sharing that. We drove down the freeway. We were actually at Lorraine Hunt's Bootlegger Bistro having dinner.
Great place.
And we thought that there was a birthday celebration when this giant cheer went up. And of course, it was when they had finally won the Cup. And then drove down the freeway, down the 15, heading back here to the Ahern. And every hotel, casino, Allegiant Stadium, all had signage congratulating the Golden Knights. It was really a community coming together.
It's remarkable, and we stayed there quite late last night. Probably my voice sounds like that, and it was just an amazing night. It was an amazing night. And Sam, I like the way you threw the bootlegger in there, because you know what? You come to town and you go old school. That's the bootlegger.
Yes, absolutely. And the piano player there last night was fabulous, but my wife is a big fan of the harpist. So you can go to the bootlegger, and you can even get to see Lorraine Hunt and Dennis Bono there. So, I mean, that's an added prize.
That's right.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. Got lots of other things to talk about with Peter Guzman after this timeout.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
The casino industry drove Nevada's economy for decades. By the 1990s, however, the state's sole industry was in sharp decline. Many were losing their homes, many were leaving the state. Is Reno on track to be the Detroit of the West? Was an October 2010 Reno Gazette-Journal headline. Nevada knew it was time for a change and a time to diversify. Story County took that lead, took risks, invested tens of millions transforming its desert into a place of opportunity and a future for Nevada families needing something new. That desert now provides thousands of high-paying tech, advanced manufacturing, and energy careers at companies like Tesla, Panasonic, Google, Switch, and Redwood Materials. Story County transformed Northern Nevada forever, and the tide of opportunity has raised all vessels through construction contracts, high-paying careers, and the power of payroll. Tens of millions have been generated in sales and property tax, permits, and other revenues for Reno, Sparks, Washoe County, and for all of Nevada. Enough, in fact, to generate a surplus after public services are provided. And best of all, a sustainable economic climate has been created, enabling our children to stay in Nevada and live prosperous lives in their home state. Story County, improving Northern Nevada one industry at a time.
For 50 years, Nevada Heating has been keeping people comfortable in their homes. At Nevada Heating, call the Do It Right guys and get the air conditioning back on today. That's the Nevada Heating way. Why sweat for days on end when Nevada Heating can get your air conditioning fixed today? Call us today and we'll fix it today at 323-5585 or schedule us on our website at nevadaheating.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We're here with Peter Guzman. He's the president of the Las Vegas Latin Chamber of Commerce, Nevada. You have spent time in Carson City during the legislative session, which as of this taping is still going on. Tell me your thoughts about the legislative session, the split in government between essentially a Democratic Assembly and Senate and a Republican governor. what were your thoughts and your thoughts?
Well, listen, overall, it's actually a blessing to me to witness democracy firsthand, right? And that's what you see when you go to Carson City. It is democracy, and I'm sensitive to that because my father came here from Cuba and drilled in my head throughout my whole childhood and my adulthood that what a blessing democracy is. But then it's obviously it's got its flaws too. I like somewhat of a divided government because it used to be where that meant adults would get into a room and understood that there's going to be some compromises. Not everybody's going to get everything they want. It did feel a little bit different this time.
In what way?
It just felt like there was some negative energy in there. There was some pre-thought out. Let's not let the governor get any wins. Let's do things for this reason or that reason. And no offense, no disrespect, but that's not what people were elected for. You're not supposed to be looking into your future, what you're going to be running for next, or anything like that. You're there to do the job at hand. And so,
but that's not the reality anymore.
Well, you say you're right about it's not the reality, but you say anymore. I'm hoping that we can change that, right? I'm hoping that elections truly have consequences. People are paying attention. You see the independents that number is growing big time.
Yes.
And so that could be the change right there because I think independents are getting a little fed up with the fact that we're not seeing the negotiations go on, and you're seeing some bills that just to some folks don't make sense. And so, listen, my job as president of the Latin Chamber of Commerce is first and foremost to really advocate and defend the small business community, the entrepreneurs, those that take that risk like Bill Foley did, so that we can have major wins in our community. And so those are the bills that we look at first and foremost. But even in the education realm, I mean, the fact that we can't have any kind of choice, we can't have opportunity scholarships, we can't. I'm not sure what open enrollment did at the moment we're taping, but just thinking outside the box. We need creative thinking. We need creative thinkers, because what we do know, which is really simple, you don't need to be a genius, is what we're doing hasn't been working. It's kept us at the bottom of a lot of categories, and so we should all be adults and trying to improve those ways of getting us in a better place.
All right, so to me, just stepping back from those issues specifically, but stepping back and saying, okay, if you want change, you have to offer all the players something they want or they need. If you think about Senator Reid, for example, and whether you're a Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter. What Senator Reid did was brilliant. In his inside jacket pocket, he had pieces of paper with what every senator wanted. And he knew that if he was dealing with Senator X and he wanted to get their vote on something, whether they were Republican or Democrat, he could pull out that piece of paper and know. In fact, I wanted to do an interview with him one time, and his staff at that point, a long time ago, were not coming through with an interview. And so I saw him at a function, and I said, Senator Reid, I'm having trouble getting you on the show. He said, give me your card. I will be on your program within a week. He gave me I gave him my card. He put it in his inside jacket pocket. That was on Friday. On Monday, I got a call. On Wednesday, he was on the show. I mean, you have to think in negotiations, what does the other guy want? It can't always be about what you want. And we seem to have lost that.
And that's what I said. And even the stories that you hear of Bill Raggio getting everybody in a room and saying nobody's leaving until everybody feels like they got a little something. That spirit, I didn't feel it so much. And that's disappointing. But the fact of the matter is this governor has certainly signed some bills showing that he can work across the aisles. He's going to get beat up, I'm sure, on some of this stuff when it all comes out. But that's got to go both hands, right? That's got to go both ways in order to get our community in a place where I think it needs to be.
One of the things that is surprising and in some ways shocking is when you look at the committee lists when they come out at the beginning of a session and you see how many names you don't know, because term limits has turned over so many of the longtime legislators, the institutional knowledge in so many cases is gone. How do we get people to run for office that are people like yourself, business people, people involved in the community, who are not worried, because that to me is the secret, is to get people elected who are happy to serve one term. And that way, they don't give a darn if you like it or not. You're going to have to work with them.
It's an interesting topic, one that I'm definitely going to look at the harder, because I want to be able to talk about it in an educated way. But from my view, it's amazing how many younger and younger legislators that may not have all the life experience that you should have in order to take positions like that. And so what you end up having are, younger people that are looking for what's their next move, right? What are they running for? And so when you legislate from that point, it's not always so good, right? It's a little too calculating when we should be doing the business at hand. And I don't know what the answer is. I mean, obviously we ought to look at, do we need full-time legislators? Do we need to pay them?
No. I'm asking, do we?
I'm not ready to answer that 100% yet, but I'm certainly going to be taking a look at it, and I am willing to take stands, bold stands. We need to pay them more. I mean, you can't expect a business person who's running a business to leave his business for 6 months, how he feeds his family, to leave for a certain amount of months to go up to Carson City and basically earn nothing. You don't go up there to get rich. We all understand public service. But you also can't leave your business and take a chance of your business going down because you want to serve. So it's an interesting topic that I think hopefully there's going to be more conversations about.
It's interesting because back in the day, they still weren't paid any money. I mean, years ago, they came up with this idea, you get paid for the first 60 days and nothing for the next 60 days, which is insane. Even if you're paying nothing, you still need to pay nothing for the second half of the session.
Of course.
But we had the Joe Deeneys on the Democratic side, and the Bill Raggios, and the Barbara Buckleys, and the list goes on, of great leaders on both sides of the aisle who did, their companies supported them.
Yeah.
They kept their jobs
They were
open.
seasoned.
Right.
And they had the ability to be able to do that. So that's something we should look at. I just know that we need folks with more life experiences because it gives you a different perspective, and business people. When you've had to meet payroll, when you've had the pressure on you to meet your payroll or pay your mortgage, it changes your way of thinking. And we need more of those kind of folks, legislating, in my opinion.
I'm not saying this so much on a state level. In fact, let's take it on a federal level. It seems to me that federal politicians have lost all concept of the value of money, that they throw out numbers that are so ridiculous. And I don't mean good or bad in terms of the legislation, but for example, the government is going to send another $25 billion to Ukraine. I'm fine with helping Ukraine. But it's the fact that it's $25 billion. And who knows, you couldn't imagine a room with 25. You could imagine $1 billion.
And the fact that people are so desensitized about the fact that we're printing money, and we almost think that it's no big deal, continue to print money because nobody's connected to it. That's not a good thing.
Well, the other part is when you look at inflation and the situation we find ourselves in, where you go to the grocery store and what you paid $70, $80 for is now $140, $150. You think those prices are ever coming down?
I'm not sure if they're going to, and that's a problem. But you know what else is a problem? People walking out of stores with items and not paying for them. Organized
retail crime. And it's not just shoplifting. I mean, this is a national effort.
No, it's organized.
We had a young woman from the Attorney General's office on, one of their top lawyers, and she was talking about this. And it is literally organized crime. It is not just a couple of kids walking into a store and shoplifting some bubble gum.
Listen, Sam, as you know, I'm of the belief that people who get excited about seeing growth in federal government, I'm not with that. This explosion of growth in the federal government, I want to see an explosion of growth in the entrepreneur community. I want to unleash the entrepreneurs. That's where you can not only create jobs, but you can also solve so many of the social injustices in the communities by having people be successful. I think that's so common sense to me, but common sense doesn't seem to be that common right now.
No, not at all. And the most important thing with entrepreneurs, especially beginning entrepreneurs, is not to tell them the issues they're going to face down the road. Because if anybody was told on day one what they were going to have to deal with down the road as an entrepreneur, they would never do it.
That's right.
But
instead they get in a position to have to figure it out, adjust, make adjustments. Those are all great life skills, by the way.
This is America. This is what America, to me, is founded on, is people taking risk and following their dreams, and hopefully at the end of it, they come out with what they need. Let's take another quick break, and we'll be right back.
Early in the morning or throughout the night, professional truck drivers are on the job, serving you, safely moving freight that's crucial to our economy. From the oldest industries to our newest innovators, from the exotic to the everyday. Trucks are everywhere, moving everything. Never afraid to embrace a future that makes Nevada and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Peter Guzman. He is the president of the Las Vegas Latin Chamber of Commerce, Nevada. How did you feel your crew of Latin legislators did at the legislature? I was impressed by several members of that team.
The Hispanic caucus, impressive. I don't always, and they know this, I don't always agree with their policy, but I'm glad that I have a seat at that table more this session than ever for the Latin Chamber of Commerce. And a shout out to Assemblywoman Selena Torres, who, I think that she's showing she can be business friendly, and I think she's done a great job. But I think all of them have, they're passionate about certain things, and they're going to fight for it. And I just like that we're able to have communication. I was on the phone with them often. I was in their offices. They were in my offices, and where we could meet and have discussions and debate. That's all I really want. I want to be able to debate policy.
One of the things...
Remember, we used to be able to debate policy and have dinner together at night.
Right.
That's how it used to be. It is that way with now, and I like that.
On the other side of that coin, for those of us in the media, it's been harder to get people to come on programs like this, but I'm grateful to members of the Latin caucus that did come on. One really shining example is your friend Edgar Flores, who did a terrific job on the program. He came on a couple of times.
Edgar Flores is an amazing individual, and when you hear him speak, and I tell him to speak more, because when he speaks, he really grabs your attention. He really cares about what he's talking about.
He's smart.
Smart guy, and listen, I've told all those guys you should do Sam's show because he's going to be fair.
Well, thank you for that. I just find it very frustrating that for some reason I think that this is a national issue, that, don't talk to the media, let us control the message. And I think that we need to know who our legislators are. I think we need to know who they are personally. And, I'm glad that the majority leader had her baby and was back at the legislature with the baby, shades of Barbara Buckley. Although I don't think Barbara came back like the next day after having the baby, but seeing a legislator with a baby on her lap, that's pretty impressive. I wish we'd had a conversation as well, though.
Yeah, no, conversations are important, and you know what you said is so important. Our legislators, local government is everything. Our legislators affect our day-to-day life more than anybody in D.C. can. And so hearing from them and listening is important. So that's why I respect what you do, because hearing the voices is important.
And that's where we got to leave it, my friend. Thank you always for doing this. I'm so glad that you got to be a part of the excitement last night with the Golden Knights. That was just...
Go Knights!
I wasn't even there, and I'll never forget it.
Go Knights!
Thanks there. Thank you very much, my friend. And we'll be right back.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Southwest Specialties has been making the homes and businesses of Nevada beautiful for more than 20 years. Their experienced designers and craftsmen create the walkways, backyards, water features, and a variety of outdoor cooking areas that add curb appeal and value to your investment. Call today or visit them at their website and see how they can make your outdoor spaces special. Southwest Specialties, creative, distinctive, beautiful.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerhour, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
Brian Culpa Photography was born in the rolling hills of Massachusetts, and now he can help you experience the stunning beauty of Nevada in a whole new way through the power of flight. Flying has always been a passion for Brian, and at Brian Culpa Photography, he can make your imagination soar. Brian has the creative mind and tools to tell your unique story. Experience the bird's eye view at brianculpaphotography.com. Thanks for watching Nevada Newsmakers, coming to you from the Ahern Hotel in Las Vegas. We'll see you on the next broadcast.